Hi, I'm Lloyd Swain with Charter Channel 3, and thank you for watching today. We have a special treat. They're back. The owners and the cast members of Broken Leg Entertainment, and there's another dinner theater coming up in May. And we'd like to talk about it a little bit. It's a funny show, and I'd like to introduce the three characters right now. We have Tim Harris, Katrina Carlson, Steve Montgomery. So you guys are doing this all over again, aren't you?
Yep.
Tim, tell us a little bit about the production.
Great production. Of course, everybody loves Neil Simon. Rumors happens to be one of my favorite shows, and I'm not in it. But being one of the producers of this show, I'm just loving the cast, love the people that we have. We've got Laura Ganders back directing, Mary Rowe is set designing and building again, and we're going to put on even a better show than the last two that we had, which were knockouts. So Katrina's back with us on stage, and she is wonderful. So.
Katrina, you really are a glutton for punishment, aren't you? You're hanging out with these guys.
I love it. It's so fun.
Tell me a little bit about the production. Do you know the story?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me the story.
It's couples getting together for our friend's 10th anniversary party, but the party never happens because when we get there, the wife is missing and the husband has shot himself through the earlobe. And so the whole time it's me and my husband trying to not let everyone else know what's happened. We're trying to hide it because we're not sure, and it just gets more convoluted and more funny as we're trying to hide it from everybody.
And your husband is, of course,
Steve Montgomery.
You seem to do that all the time.
Yeah.
You seem to couple up quite a bit on these dinner theater productions. So how are rehearsals going? And it's a lot more work, with the number of casts. So
yes, that's true. We started, our first production was the three of us, and then the next performance there was 5 in the cast, and this time there's 10. So it's just almost mayhem compared to what we're used to. But the 10 people are all probably the best 10 in the Tri-Cities, and it's going to be a hoot, let me tell you.
So what's the most fun about working with all these people? Are there less lines? Is that what this is about? Or what's so fun about this production?
Yeah, it is nice.
It's nice to learn less lines, but it's also, we all are like a big family. We have so much fun. We laugh our way through the rehearsals, which, you know, and we go and we do things together. Yeah. So there's like a camaraderie between us, which is just wonderful.
That's great. Yeah, that's just great.
And everybody's acting style is a little bit different, and you see how the characters develop, and you hear people change or add things to their characters. And there's so much more intensity when you're on stage and you don't have lines. To look like you're really there, you have to be very much in tune to what everybody is doing and saying, because when you don't have anything to say yourself, you're still acting. And so it's interesting. It's tough.
So how about the rehearsal period for something like this? You tell me a little bit about when the dates start and how long you've been working to put this production together. Any of you?
When did we start this, Tim?
Yeah, thank you.
I can't remember.
A usual production is usually 6 weeks, but that's usually doing 4 to 5 rehearsals.
3 hours apiece.
Yes. In this one, we started early. We cast early. We cast right after the first of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And we started rehearsals in February, late February. Mm-hmm. And so instead of rehearsing so much, at that particular time, they rehearse like 3 times a week, and then as it gets closer, of course, those are going to be moving up, and it's going to be longer. And putting it all together, especially when you have 10 people, you can divide up the scenes accordingly and work with just those people that you need at a certain time. But now it's getting to the crunch time. These next 4 weeks, they're going to all be on stage. It's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Plus, you got costumes to do. You got the set to finish building. You've got props. You've got, you know, all those little items, marketing and money needs to be spent here and there, and those type of things, which are very important too. So
it's a lot of work, isn't it?
It's a lot of work.
So there really wasn't a part for you this time, huh?
There was a part for me, but because of other events that I've had going on, I'm not the least bit worried about it. They got a great cast, so they're going to be doing a fine job. I will be there opening night, and hopefully through the rest of the production too.
Oh, that's great. And you're using Lori Ganders as the director. She's experienced with it. How is it working with Lori?
Oh, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
She's got the ability to see the whole picture, add to, subtract from, change something, even your delivery of a line. She can see it and feel it and understand it and then tell you how she wants it, and all of a sudden it starts making sense to the actor or the actress, and she's fantastic. And Mary Rowe, like Tim said, just is able to build this set, most of it by herself, and she's just a little dynamo. And then Katrina's taken on more than just acting. She's helping with the costumes and the props, and it's just phenomenal the way everybody comes together.
It's a dedicated crew, and like you say, Katrina, it is a family, isn't it?
It is.
When you do this.
Absolutely.
Talk about the time frame. When does the dinner theater start, and what time, and when do they have dinner, and then when is the show?
Well, opening night is May 7th.
Right.
And you will that weekend, and the doors will open about 6:45. People start.
Dinner's at 7.
Dinner's at 7. People start
Shows at
coming in
8.
about 6:45, and they have an hour to eat, and talk, and have a drink or so, whatever they care to do. And then we put on our performance. Tim and I usually go out and speak to the audience about 5 minutes to 7 or so, and just to see how everyone's doing, you know, and give them a hard time, or them us. And then we start the show at 8, and the show's, what would you say, Tim, 2 hours? You've done the show in the past.
Correct.
I can't
2
recall.
hours with
Is it about 2
intermission.
hours?
Yeah, with intermission. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's not a long night, but it's fun. This year we've decided to instead of having 8 people per round of table, we're going to 6, so people will have even more room. It'll be maybe less people per row, but probably more rows there in the theater, and it's going to be a more comfortable and enjoyable evening for everybody.
And it's great when you get a group of people together to do, you know, to buy a whole table and sit there.
Oh, yeah, it's so fun. Yeah.
There's cocktails and wine and a great dinner from what I've seen.
Katrina put the menu together.
It's a very fancy menu, because we're all at a dinner party and we're all dressed in formal wear. So we have a very fancy meal this time.
Do you have? Can you give us an idea of what the menu is?
Wow. It's been a long time since I put that together.
I can't remember either.
I can't either. It's lovely, though. I do remember that.
You guys are so busy rehearsing, really, you wear more than one hat. So
Yes, multiple.
what I've seen before, folks, and it really is a wonderful dinner, a buffet dinner. I mean, it's a hearty meal, and you'll enjoy this theater. That's for sure. And comedies are really appropriate for dinner theater, aren't they?
I think people want to go out and laugh, and dinner theater is just the right venue for that. And you get done with a nice meal, maybe have a glass of wine, you can sit back, and we just love doing comedies, we love doing farces, and this one is going to be rip-roaring from the moment it starts to the very end. And there's a lot of little twists and turns in this show. Dynamite. People have a good time.
You know, you're right, and with 10 people, it's going to be crazy. So, opens May 7th, Friday and Saturday, 7th and 8th, and the next 2 weekends?
And the next 2 weekends, with the matinee being the middle weekend, Sunday. And that's a dessert matinee. And the doors will open probably about 1:30. Dessert is already there, available to anyone. Try any or all of the desserts that are there, and there'll be a nice variety. There's always a very nice variety. We've been very happy with the Red Lion in Kennewick, and that show will be at 2 o'clock.
So how much does it cost for per person to come to the show?
$50 per person.
For the dinner.
For the dinner, and you get the dinner, and you get you get the show. And if you look at going out to dinner and going to a movie, hey, how much are you going to spend doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, it really
Well, it's only
is a
$25 for
great
dessert
deal.
matinee, don't forget.
That's true. 25.
Yeah, it's only $25 for the desserts.
Show.
The
show.
show.
It's a remarkable deal for
Yeah, it
really
is.
what people get, and they're so close to you. I mean, you have the audience very close, and
Yes, they are right on top of the stage.
I don't know how you
can see the expressions, you can hear everything. We had the last show, we had someone with the phone that wasn't turned off, and
that was
she
lovely.
let it ring and ring and ring. It was, to keep your concentration when that type of thing happens is tough, but
Gosh.
it makes for live theater.